What is a Super Tuscan wine? The quickest answer I have is it's a wine that does not follow the Chianti or Chianti Classico rules, which currently are 80% Sangiovese, 20% other allowable red grapes. A more nuanced answer to what is a Chianti Classico requires me to talk about Chianti over time. In the 80s and 90s, it was required that Chianti had to have at least 5 to 10% white wine in the final blend, usually Trebbiano or Malvasia, which are traditional Tuscan whites that were blended into Chianti. During the 60s, 70s, and 80s, winemakers rebelled against this notion that you had to have white wine in your Chianti because Tuscany was such a great place for growing red grape. And so producers made 100% Sangiovese wines. And they couldn't call them Chianti, even though Sangiovese has always been thought of as the principal grape of Chianti. Were, called Vino di Tavola, Tuscan regional wines. They had great reputations, and so this notion of the Super Tuscan was born. Also in the 60s and 70s, winemakers started to experiment with international grape. Sassica, famous example of a right bank Bordeaux blend, 85% Merlot, 15% Cab Franc. Gaja, 96, bought property and made a right bank blend, Cab Merlot, Cab Franc. Marchesi Antinori made a wine, Cab Sangiovese, Cab Merlot. First people to age Sangiovese wine in French Brie. Traditionally, they've been aged in Slovakian oak. And ultimately, the Italian authorities decide to change the wine, to make Chianti a more modern wine. And Chianti becomes a fine wine. That's the historical example of Chianti, and that what a Super Tuscan is. The Sassicas, the Gajas, the Marchesi Antinoris, Tiganello. Also, in the mass market wine consumers, there's this notion of a Super Tuscan, a darkly colored aromatic wine that's Sangiovese, Cab Merlot, that's available in a broad number of price points from value to super premium. That's the consumer's conception of Super Tuscan, sort of a nebulous marketing term at this point that applies to a lot of wines that have the term historically and are involved in the changing of the Chianti set of laws. And then you also have wines sell for $13 on the shelf that are Cab Sangiovese blends that pumped out by the 100,000 case full through the cooperatives. So yeah, have a lovely day. That's 5 minutes of Super Tuscan wine. Probably edit it to a couple of minutes because of all my umming and wiggling.